What's something most people don't realize will kill you in seconds? Carbon dioxide. People have died playing with dry ice. Decades ago, setting up for a party where the plan was to feature a punch bowl with dry ice fog. I went to an industrial dry ice plant nearby to buy a block of the stuff. Turned out they only sell in industrial quantities, but they said I could take as much as I wanted. So I filled my car hatchback with maybe 250 pounds of dry ice and drove off. Guy from the facility comes running after me, screaming, "Open your windows, he may have saved my life." There's a show on Netflix where bartenders compete by making cocktails. Once in a while, they'll use dry ice for presentation. The smart ones keep it contained, separated, or removable. The less smart ones toss it directly in the drink, get DQ'd when the judges refuse to drink it, and usually get eliminated that round. The judges explain that even a small loose chunk can get caught in your throat, sublimate CO2 directly into your respiratory system, and suffocate you. Slipping in the shower. Electricity, particularly involving overhead wires. Enclosed spaces. Don't assume it's the air you're used to down there. There were 2 utility workers in my hometown that died going into an underground drainage control. Opened it up and the first guy went down and passed out from whatever gases were down there. Second guy went in after him and passed out too. What's something most people? Years ago I was receiving safety training at a chemical plant. One thing they stressed was there must be a second person who is outside the enclosed space, and that second person must never go in to rescue the first person. The second is there to call for help from the proper safety people on site. If the second person goes in now, the rescue people have to get out there. They don't realize will kill you in seconds. Large herbivores. They've evolved defenses to make large predators rethink their life choices. They will mess you up. Predators only kill you if they're hungry and think that you're worth the fight. Prey animals will try to kill you if they get scared. And it's real easy to scare a prey animal. All they do is eat and fear for their life. Another way I've heard it is, a predator will kill you because it benefits from having food. A prey will kill you because it benefits from seeing you dead. Apparently this is told in many ways, because I heard it as: predators fight for their dinner, prey animals fight for their lives. The acceptable level of risk in the latter is much higher. One simple wrong move on the highway. And it doesn't even have to be your wrong move. This is the part everybody forgets. Thinking you are a good driver is not the same as taking a defensive driving course. It should be mandatory. Gonna say this. Cars are deadly and we get in them so casually. The first driving lesson I got at 14 by my godmother: "We're giving you keys to a weapon. Never forget that." And I haven't. "Hey, that small invertebrate you found by the sea, please leave it alone. But it has such pretty blue spots. Forbidden scrongle." Went snorkeling with a guide a long time ago in some coral reefs. When we saw a shark, the guide was like, "Now, don't worry." I see there are a lot of people confused by this comment. In English, Monet is jellyfish. Yep, French impressionists will do that. Freshwater lakes are so underrated compared to the ocean. There's much less shit that will kill you. Falling from regular standing height. My very first high school boyfriend died this way. He climbed up on the hood of his car to fix something, slipped, fell and died from a broken neck. My only comfort is that it was an instantaneous death. Oh Jesus, that's terrifying. I'm so sorry. My mom fell forward holding some groceries, got her arms out to brace her fall and still broke her wrist and jaw in multiple places. Grandma broke her hip just falling out of bed. Falling is fucking dangerous. It's exactly why old people need to learn that you can't just give up on fitness. Breaking your hip is the worst. So that when you're over 60 and you'll basically never be able to live without regular help, and you're almost guaranteed to have a much shorter life. My uncle's friend stumbled off a curb and fell, smacked his head and died. So scary. Water. People often do not respect water and how it can quickly kill you. Shallow running water. People think that the 3 inches of water flowing down a stream is no worrying. It'll whip you off your feet and you'll smash a head on a rock in a heartbeat. It's unreal how strong it is. Fist fight. One wrong punch and you're in prison for killing a dude. I really wish they would stop showing that in movies. A blow to the head is not a convenient way to knock someone out without killing them. Okay, maybe it's convenient, but it lacks the without killing them part. Things under huge amounts of tension, boat lines, garage door springs, various other cables or springs used in industrial settings. These can send you back to the character select in an instant. Capacitors. Maybe most people don't interact with them, but for those that do DIY electronics repairs, a typical PSU and a home computer have capacitors that can kill you. Shocking, I know. When I was a kid, I took apart a giant CRT TV to pop a button back into the front panel. I felt so accomplished as I put it back together. It's only much later that I've come to understand just how close to dead I had been. Texting while driving, or looking at your display, talking on the phone. Any distracted driving or brief look away. Knew a guy who leaned over to change a CD, permanently paralyzed. I hide the screen displays. Just went car shopping last year, and they showed me so many cars with that shit no matter how many times I said I didn't want it. I'm sure eventually, it will be impossible to get a car without it but fuck. So, I was trying to look up a DIY mixture to remove mold mildew recently. A surprising number of sources including an AI tool suggested mixing bleach and vinegar. I saw Google was doing AI TLDR, but that's terrifying WTF. The Google AI is having wild hallucinations and should not be trusted. Not sure if they've changed it recently, but when it first came out it was pulling answers from Reddit shitposts, like using glue instead of cheese for pizza. Carbon monoxide, well, minutes, but still. It's odorless and colorless, most likely, you won't even know. Except for that wretched headache before you pass out. But if you're prone to headaches anyway, how are you going to tell the difference between oh, fuck, migraine and holy shit I'm dying, a carbon monoxide alarm? Hitting your head against a wall. There's a pretty famous story about a basketball player who missed a shot, got annoyed and headbutted. If I remember correctly, the post the hoop is attached to ... Didn't kill him but paralyzed him from the neck down for life. People do die from doing this. I've seen people get mad and headbutt something 100 times, but do it wrong once and that's it. You're dead. Edit. He made the shot but was called out, got a foul, so it didn't count. He died 13 years later. Someone has replied with a video link, but watch at your own discretion. It's not nice. What's something most people don't realize will kill you in seconds? My kids banged heads once while playing, came running to me. One was crying and he had a little goose egg on his head. Fast forward a few weeks, the bump wasn't going away. Take him to the pediatrician, who is slightly puzzled and sends us to a pediatric neurosurgeon at the children's hospital. We have some scans, got a call to come back, which is never good news, and we're told he had a rare sort of cancer-type lesion in his skull. A year of chemo, and he was fine. This was 9 years ago. He's still doing great. But his oncologist said that injury has been reported with this type of cancer-like lesion. The way my brain processes it is that the cells that went to fix the injury just didn't leave properly and instead continued to grow abnormally. It's very rare, but still, it happened. Bob Zagat died after bumping his head on a hotel shelf. Apparently it gave him a mild headache, so he went to sleep, and never woke up. Inhalants. I tried them once in high school. 2 weeks later, a kid at another school died from using them the first time. A couple weeks after that, I was offered them again. I told them fuck no and asked if they hadn't heard about the dead kid. They looked at me and seriously replied, "Oh yeah, it's okay. He used the wrong brand. He used the blue bottle instead of the purple bottle." A kid from my high school was found dead in a field with 1.5 cans of palm cooking spray. Roughly 13 years ago, my GF at the time began getting sick mysteriously. So sick she even passed out behind the wheel of her car. Then, I found out she was huffing duster. I don't think I'll ever recover from the trauma that followed. Finding her in her car having a seizure, covered in puke and shit. Finding her in her room having a seizure with the can frozen to her hand. She died a few months later. The duster damaged her heart. She was 24. Horses. We've lived with them for so long that unless you spend regular time around them, you don't know just how unbelievably dangerous they are. It's a good thing they're so stupid or we'd be fucked. Movies have people believing they're these docile creatures that live to serve humans. Those are the ones that have been trained extensively. They are otherwise 1,500 pounds of dumb panicky hair-trigger muscle. I have went from showing to barrel racing over the years, and my vet looked at me one day after fighting with my gelding and said horses have two things on their mind ... suicide ... and homicide ... double quotes. She's not wrong now. Oh fuck, is that a pinnacone on the path I'm gonna die? Tilda horses. I forget who said this to me or where I heard it, but I'll never forget hearing horses have been trying to make themselves extinct for the last millennium or so, but we keep getting in the way. Garage door springs. Let a pro fix it. Mixing a lot of stuff with benzos, alcohol, opiates, other benzos, etc. Edit. Damn, this blew up. You all stay safe. You can recover and get help. After my back surgery, I was on a lot of drugs and had no experience. I didn't realize just how narcotics killed you, basically turning off your diaphragm. I was on a lot of prescription meds and unwittingly took Percocet, muscle relaxers, and doxylamine succinate, a sleep aid. I woke up several times feeling like I was coming up from the deep end of a pool, gasping. I was so confused, and I just kept going back to sleep. The next day, I was Googling OD, and I realized that for about 4 hours, I was absolutely walking a tightrope over the abyss of death and just kept going back to sleep because I didn't understand it. A road brick on the highway, probably the most disturbing thing I've seen on the internet. That video where it doesn't show the impact or aftermath, all you hear is the driver wailing in agony because it killed his wife in the passenger seat. A ruptured aneurysm can kill you in seconds. It's often sudden and without warning, making it extremely dangerous and usually fatal if not treated immediately. My girlfriend died on my birthday through brain aneurysm. We were on the phone laughing and talking. I got off at 2 a.m. Dead at 4. All I knew is she heard a pop in the back of her neck, got scared, called 911. She was dead before the ambulance got there. 22 years old, healthy as could be. Poorly designed and manufactured submarines. Milliseconds actually. Maternal hemorrhage. I am routinely shocked by expectant mothers who want to give birth at home, arguing that they can always transfer to the hospital if there's a problem. No, they can't. If the wrong type of bleeding begins, they'll be dead before the ambulance gets there. Edit. As noted below, in some countries, certified nurse midwives attend home births with medications they can use to treat hemorrhage. However, that is not the case in the US, where insurance requirements mean that most CNMIs must be attached to hospitals. In many American states, midwife is not a restricted term, so self-described midwives with no qualifications at all get hired to attend home births. The results are a fairly predictable higher mortality rate for home births versus hospital births in America. Moving water. It's freaking dangerous. Water is heavy, so when it's moving it has a lot of energy. It might not feel too bad walking through knee-deep flowing water, but if you fall, the water will have more area to push on. You may not be able to get yourself on your feet again. Rust. If you run into a hole in the ground with rusty stuff inside, that does not get good ventilation. Don't go in. Rust is iron combined with oxygen, and it can eat all of the oxygen in the air. And fun fact, your body can't tell how much oxygen is in the air, but does sense carbon dioxide is there. So, you don't know you are going until you are dead. Inhaling too much helium. A family friend who taught me how to drive many years ago told me you have to drive like everyone else on the road is an absolute idiot and has no idea what they're doing. I never forgot that. Mixing isopropyl alcohol and bleach. If you get hit in the chest at a specific part of the heart's cardiac rhythm, dead. If you accidentally massage your carotid and have a vagal sensitivity, dead. If you have a genetic predisposition for certain arrhythmias and get startled, dead. The heart is a tricksy thing. This is very rare. However, if you have any family members who have died unexpectedly and young and have a history of fainting for no reason, get an EKG ASAP.